If you run a content team at scale, you already know the feeling. Brilliant ideas, talented people, real budget, and somehow the work still ships at half the speed it should. Not because of the team, because of the queue between the team and live. I'm Asher. You're listening to Content is Currency from Table 8, and over the next 8 minutes, we're going to fix one of the most expensive bottlenecks in enterprise content, the approval committee. By the end, you'll have a 3-lane review system you can deploy on Monday, and a clear answer to why your best people have been shipping safe work instead of bold work. No tools to buy, no project tracker to install, just a reframe and a process. Let's go. Run the math on your own team this week. How long does it take to make an asset? How long does it take to ship one? In most enterprise content ops, those two numbers are wildly out of step. 3 days to make, 3 weeks to ship. That's 7 times longer in the queue than in production. And it isn't a tooling problem. It's a process problem with a human cost. I've watched 50-person content operations grind to a halt because every ad, every post, every caption pushed through the same 6-person committee. The work was good. The system around it was suffocating. People notice. They stop fighting for the bold idea. They write safer to avoid the friction. The committee did its job and quietly killed the work in the process. Picture a vineyard at harvest. Every grape that comes off the vine doesn't go to the master sommelier. The sommelier tastes the rare vintages. The everyday wine moves through hands that already know what good looks like. The unsellable fruit goes to the compost without ceremony. 3 lanes, 3 speeds, 1 harvest. Now picture your content pipeline doing the opposite. Every social caption, every internal banner, every retargeting ad climbing the same ladder up to your VP of brand. That's not quality control. That's a tax on output. The vineyard kept its standards by recognizing what each grape was worth. Your content operation has to do the same. Here's why every large org ends up with one approval lane. Someone, somewhere, made a mistake once. A caption went out with a typo. A creative used a stock photo that legal hadn't cleared. So the org bolted on a new check. Then another, then another. Each one was reasonable in isolation. Together, they form a wall. The wall protects the company from the worst-case scenario and traps it inside the worst-case workflow. The truth is, 90% of the content you produce is low-stakes repetition. Another carousel, another testimonial graphic, another captioned clip. It does not need the same scrutiny as the launch hero film. Treating them the same is the bottleneck. Recognizing they're different is the unlock. The system is 3 lanes, sorted by risk, not by team. Lane 1 is auto pass. Lane 2 is single reviewer. Lane 3 is committee. Every piece of content gets sorted at intake based on 3 questions. Does this make a claim? Does this name a competitor? Does this touch a regulated topic? 3 no's and it goes lane 1, 1 yes, lane 2, 2 or more, lane 3. That's the whole sort. It takes 30 seconds. Your producer can do it. Your AI can do it. The point isn't to replace judgment. The point is to apply judgment proportionally. Heavy where the risk is real, light where it isn't. Most teams will be shocked to learn that 60 to 80% of their output qualifies for lane 1 the moment they actually look. Lane 1 is the freedom lane. Reposts of approved evergreen content. Variations on previously cleared creative. Internal only assets. Captions that quote your own published work. These ship the moment the producer hits done. No reviewer required. The check isn't human. It's a pre-approved template, a brand voice rule, and a published do not say list. If the asset stays inside those guardrails, it's done. Sounds reckless until you do the math. If 60% of your weekly output moves through lane 1 without a queue, your team has just regained 2 days of cycle time per week. That's not a small win. That's the difference between a team that ships and a team that drowns. Lane 2 is for content that needs a human eye but not a committee. New angles on old products, customer quotes, performance ad creative. Anything that names a competitor without making a comparative claim. One reviewer, usually the brand lead or a senior content strategist, owns the call. Not a Slack thread, not a meeting. One person, one review window of 24 hours, one decision. Approve, edit, or reject. The reviewer rotates each week so no single person becomes the bottleneck. The rule of lane 2 is simple. If the reviewer can't make the call alone, it doesn't belong in lane 2. It goes up to lane 3. The clarity protects the reviewer from being asked to take risk that isn't theirs to take. Lane 3 is the lane that earned the name approval bottleneck in the first place. Launch films, comparative claims, anything regulated, healthcare, finance, kids content, anything that touches a public statement about your numbers. These belong with the committee, legal, brand, product, and the executive sponsor. You meet weekly on a fixed day and you review only lane 3. That's it, once a week. Not every time someone uploads a caption. 5% of your output drives 90% of your real risk. Treat that 5% like it deserves. Stop making the other 95% wait in the same line. The committee actually starts doing better work too, because they're seeing only the assets that justify their attention. You can deploy this in 1 week. Day 1. Pull your last 60 days of approval requests and sort them retroactively into the 3 lanes. The numbers will tell you the truth. Day 2. Write the intake form with the 3 sorting questions. Day 3. Publish your lane 1 guardrails and the do not say list. Day 4. Name your lane 2 reviewer rotation. Day 5. Schedule the weekly lane 3 meeting and tell every other forum it's done. The system works because it makes the implicit explicit. Most approval pain isn't policy, it's policy hiding behind habit. Name the lane, name the rules, name the reviewers. Your output doubles. Your committee gets its calendar back. Your team starts pitching the bold ideas again. That's the system. Now go ship it. I'm Asher. This was Content is Currency from Table 8. We'll see you next episode.